Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are all having a really good weekend so far. It's really hard to believe. A week ago from today, Sunday, so what, the 8th, I was actually running in a marathon. I ran the Disney Marathon last week Sunday. I've been training for it for 8 months. It was, I don't actually enjoy running per se, but I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy setting goals. So I set a goal for myself to be able to do the marathon. I was really hoping for a specific time. Unfortunately, I didn't quite hit the time that I wanted. I finished in 520th place out of almost 13,000 runners or so. It was a lot of fun to do the challenge, and I really want to create content that is helpful, that helps inspire, that helps motivate, and really talks about setting goals for yourself and doing whatever you can to make sure you achieve those goals. That's why we started this server or this channel in our Discord server. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you haven't joined already. I highly recommend joining, about your collection goals for 2023. That's why I record videos about starting your own business. Really, I want to be able to help people just as much as possible. Just do what I can to give back to the community and be a part of something bigger, because that's really what this is all about for me. I don't worry too much about the money, and that's why we give a lot of stuff away. I don't spend a whole lot of money recording videos because I don't have to open up a lot of product. We talk about the market, and I want to give back in different ways and help inspire people and help grow to obtain your goals. Whatever your goals might be, I want to be able to help. But I don't really know how to convey everything that I want to accomplish through words, through verbalizing things to you guys. I just really want to make a difference, and I really want to do that with you guys, and I really want to be a part of something bigger. And that's why looking at, creating content and focusing on your subscriber goals and things like that isn't something that I'm going to be doing moving forward, because I really want to create a community together with you all, and it doesn't necessarily matter how big that community is. What matters is the cohesiveness. What matters is how tight-knit we are together and what we're trying to accomplish together, and that's really what's important to me. I'm not going to go into too much. I could talk so much about it because I've been reading so much in books and just learning so much and just trying so many different things, and there's a lot that I want to accomplish moving forward, so I'm not going to jump too much into it because I could babble on forever, and that's not what you come to the channel for. But I do want to talk to you guys today about Pokemon Bulk, because Pokemon Bulk is nowhere near what it used to be. There was a time when Pokemon Bulk was selling for 6-7 cents per card, and we're talking 6-7 years ago, when this was the case, before things crashed, right? When things came out with Pokemon Go, people started really getting back into the game, and then we had the Sun and Moon sets come out, Guardians Rising came out, and it was probably at that time that Bulk kind of took a step backwards, because there was such an influx of Bulk that started getting opened. A lot more people were opening up booster boxes, a lot more people were opening up packs, because there was such a large amount of people entering the space, entering the hobby, and because of that, commons and uncommons started getting, they were a lot more prevalent, and it went from a time where they were hitting 6 to 7 cents for a lot of companies to buy Bulk, and that's where they dropped down to about a penny or 2 pennies. It took about a year for it to kind of recover a little bit from that giant uptick in popularity, and then it got around 3-4 cents a piece up until we went through the pandemic, and then we got overloaded again with Bulk from a lot of different areas. There used to be a time where you could trade 1,500 commons and uncommons for a booster box, even less than that in some places, and then last year, a little bit longer than a year ago or so, you could find places that were taking in 3,000, 3,500 Bulk for a booster box, and then it got overwhelmed. The market got overwhelmed. Pokemon talked about how they printed 9.2 billion cards, and it was just this huge surplus in commons and uncommons. But demand for those products died down a lot. There wasn't a situation where you couldn't find Pokemon cards at the store anymore, so a lot of people weren't scrambling to go to eBay and Amazon to find these Bulk lots. So Bulk crashed completely, and a lot of companies had to turn off Bulk altogether, kind of like us. We had to stop taking Bulk altogether because we had an excess of over 30 million cards that we're just sitting on that aren't moving nearly as fast as what they were before. So in order to try and not lose all these funds that you had invested into Bulk, you kind of had to slow down taking, and that's why you saw a lot of companies stop taking Bulk for a long time. Now things are starting to get better. Things are starting to improve a little bit. As a lot of people kind of exited the hobby, exited the space, there's not as many packs being open. There's still a lot, but the demand is kind of hanging on a little bit. And since we've had this situation where it's been 6-7 months without Bulk really being around for a lot of companies, they're starting to work through a lot of that excess Bulk. So we're going to talk about about bulk today in a lot of different categories, a lot of different facets. I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But before I jump into things, I think it's very important to talk about your bulk, because your bulk, I really like to impress upon people that every card has value. So there's a lot of really cool cards in the Pokemon TCG, a lot of really cool artworks, and it's awesome to be able to look at all the different artworks. And there's a lot of really good things that you can do with bulk. You can donate it, you can give it to different charities, you can give it to different leagues, different people at schools, things like that. So there's a lot of different uses that you can do with bulk. But if you are looking to sell your bulk and turn your bulk around to be able to invest it into your collection goals, there's a lot of different areas that you can do. The first thing to do properly is to sort through your cards. And I go through this all the time, and I'll make videos every once in a while on cards that are important to pull out of your bulk, because some cards do have more values associated with them, especially when it comes to the competitive TCG. And I understand how the competitive TCG is not for everybody, and it's significantly smaller than the collector space in the hobby. The competitive TCG is way, way smaller, and some people will still play casually on TCG Live or on PTCGO, but for a lot of people, they don't play at local leagues or things like that. I highly encourage it because it's so much fun. You meet a lot of really cool people in this space, in the Pokemon space, so I highly recommend checking out local leagues as they start coming back here in January, maybe hitting up a regional event. It's a lot of fun to play the game. If you haven't learned how to play it, definitely learn. But it's super, super important to realize that we are going to be rotating out of a specific format, and that rotation is going to begin basically with the release of Scarlet and Violet. So Scarlet and Violet comes out at the end of March, and then rotation goes into effect on April 14th. And what that means is a lot of cards that are a little bit more pricey, especially as far as commons and uncommons go. So you see in here a lot of different trainers that do have a little bit of value associated with them, like Scoop Up Net, like Quick Ball, like all those special energy cards that we have on the top row. They're Capture Energy, Aurora Energy, Powerful Energy, Speed Energy. A lot of these cards are $2, $3, $4 a piece, right? That's not bad considering the fact that a lot of your ultra rare cards are only worth 50 cents to $1 for a lot of bulk Vs. So a lot of commons and uncommons that do have a little bit of value associated with them, those are going to drop down to bulk pricing because they're not going to be viable in competitive play anymore. They're going to be rotating out. And the important thing to realize is that when you look at your card, so this is just a trekking shoes from the newest set. In the bottom corner here, you can't really see because it's blurry, but there is a regulation mark on it. And at the bottom of this trekking shoes right here is the regulation letter F. That means that this card will be legal for standard play moving forward. So it will continue in the standard rotation. Everything with the regulation mark of E and F, that letter on the bottom corner of your card, E and F, those are going to be legal for play moving forward. A card that would not be legal anymore would be like this Metal Saucer right here. So Metal Saucer has a regulation letter of D in the bottom corner. That means that it is going to be rotating out. Now, if there is a reprinted card, like what you'll see from Rare Candies, what you'll see from Energy Search, what you'll see from Switch, those cards got reprinted with the regulation letters of E and F on them in later sets. A card like Metal Saucer has not been reprinted. So because Metal Saucer has not been reprinted, it is getting rotated out. Any card with the D letter on it and before that is going to be rotated out of standard rotation. That's really important to know going forward because those cards are going to become more bulkier cards where they're only worth a couple cents a piece, as opposed to some of these cards that you see on the screen, which are worth a couple dollars a piece right now, especially cards like Raikou, Rayquaza, Amazing Rare. Because of the impact that competitive play has had on these cards, they have shot up substantially over the past couple of weeks. So it's important to understand that as rotation hits, you want to start paying attention to different competitive YouTube channels like Azul, like Tricky Jim, like a lot of those YouTube channels out there that are going to be talking about competitive play, so that way you understand decks moving forward and cards moving forward that you're going to want to pull out of your bulk. Cards like trekking shoes that you don't want to bulk out for a booster box because it's going to be worth about $1 moving forward. Cards like Colress's Experiment that might go up a little bit in price as we move forward as a popular draw option for a lot of Lost Zone decks. It's important to understand what the rotation is going to do. Look at sites like Limitless. Look at people on Twitter who play the competitive TCG, so that way you can get a good understanding of what cards you want to remove out of your bulk, especially as we move into Scarlet and Violet, because there's going to be a lot of decks that are going to have to change and adapt as we move forward. So with that being said, we're going to move into more more bulk options here. These are just a couple of different options that are out there. There's other ones out there, and you can feel free to leave in the comments section your favorite place to buy bulk. Now, we do at the Coliseum plan on starting to purchase bulk again in the near future. We are starting to really go through a lot of our excess bulk that we've had, so we will be able to start turning bulk on in a limited capacity. But these are different options that are available right now. You can see prices are starting to shoot up a little bit. So I did put Safari Zone up here. I think they're buying bulk commons and uncommons right now at 1.7 cents, which isn't great still. And I think give it about 8, 9, 10 months, and you might see as we get into the holiday season of 2023, bulk go up to about 2.5, 3 cents again, depending on how the demand and supply kind of fluctuate as we move forward. But Safari Zone 1.7 cents is actually a lot better than what bulk has been, considering the fact that we haven't been able to sell bulk at all over the last year or so. And anybody who did buy it usually bought it at like 0.8 of a cent or half a cent, somewhere around there. You also have Troll and Toad buying different variations of bulk here. So they've got hollow rares at 9 cents, non-hollow rares at 3 cents. They're buying commons and uncommons at a penny. They're paying Pokemon TCG Trainer or special energy cards. They're paying 1.5 pennies for. So there are some different options available for buying bulk. These are just a couple of the bigger bulk buyers. But like I said, feel free to drop a comment down below if you have another source of bulk that you typically utilize that might have better rates. But like I said, Safari Zone, probably the best one out there that I've seen as of right now. Now, code cards have really taken a hit over the past couple of years, especially because of the amount of packs that have been opened and because we didn't have any competitive play for a very long time during the pandemic. So because of that, code cards took a huge hit. Now, there are some places that still buy code cards, and these are just a few of them that are up here. This Sell Pokemon Cards is an app. This one right up here, this one with the little red and white Pokeball with the QR code in the middle. So that's an actual app that you can use. I believe that's run by CCG Castle is, I think, who runs that specific app. But what you can do is you can scan in your code cards. They have a listing on their homepage as soon as you open the app that will tell you what they're paying for each specific card. Guardian Gaming's TCG, you can see different prices that they have listed. Not a lot of money, right? But otherwise, if you're not using them, if you're not giving them away, if you're not donating them, if you want to be able to recuperate some value that you've put into packs, like a Silver Tempest pack, you might want to just scan it. If you've got an extra 100 Silver Tempest codes lying around, well, that'll give you an extra $6 somewhere around there, so you can scan them in and sell them. Card Cavern is another one that is buying, and Poke Collect is actually a very interesting one because they also take Japanese bulk, so you can go not a very great rate on Japanese bulk, but still you're looking at about 1 penny a piece. So if you've got a lot of excess Japanese bulk, you can go to pokecollect.com. You can fill out their buy list, their sell list as far as what they're paying for Japanese bulk, and that's a good option for you to get rid of some of that excess bulk that you might have that's taking up space, and then utilize that to maybe invest into other things in your collection, whether it be Scarlet and Violet. I know price changes are happening. MSRP is going up, so it's definitely something that you might want to consider putting more cash in your pocket, so that way you can have that for allocating specific funding on more future collection goals. Then we've got different places that you can go online. So this is just a post from Burbank City Pokemart. This is actually a group on Facebook. If you're not in Burbank City Pokemart, it's a pretty big group. I think there's like 60,000 members or something like that. I've been on Burbank for a very long time. I don't do a ton of stuff on there, but it's always nice to look at to see different people who are buying and selling cards. They protect the buyer extremely well with the admins that run the group and things like that. So this is just a post. A lot of companies will post bulk rates and what they're buying in Burbank City Pokemart. So if you're not on Facebook in this group, I would highly recommend joining it just because it's a good option for you. So you've got Pokemon rares. Obviously, we've seen Pokemon rares for better rates. 6 cents isn't too bad, but this lets you split and pick and choose who you might want to send product to. So they're buying Pokemon V's at 50 cents, EXs at $1.25, Pokemon Breaks at 50 cents, Prism Star cards at 50 cents, but also these down here are additional options which are really important for people. They are buying pins at 50 cents a piece. They're buying coins at 10 cents a piece. So you might have a lot of excess coins just kind of lying around that you don't really have a need for or a want for anymore. You can start selling those for 10 cents a piece. They're buying jumbo cards at 50 cents a piece. So if you've cracked a lot of collection boxes over the past year or so, this gives you an outlet for those jumbos. Maybe you only want to keep 1 or 2 in your personal collection and you want to move some of the other ones. Well, this gives you 50 cents a piece rather than trying to sell those or move those on your own individually, it can be a lot more expensive doing it that way. Even ETB sleeves, if you've opened up a lot of ETBs or a lot of those Juniper milk cartons, things like that, you can sell some of those ETB sleeves in bulk at 75 cents a piece rather than just kind of sitting on them and they're taking up a bunch of space. So it gives you a little bit, it's all about kind of bringing down the cost of those collection boxes or bringing down the cost of that pack and trying to get it as cheap as you possibly can. At least that's the way that I look at it. So if you're buying an Elite Trainer box, knowing that you can at least move the sleeves for 75 cents, you can at least move a coin, you can at least move a pin in some of these collection boxes, especially as they open up over time, as you open up more and more. It's an important thing to look at, and there's a lot of different areas in Verbank, a lot of different posts that kind of go up that give you that option to move additional items that aren't just necessarily cards that maybe are just sitting in a box on your shelf that you want to take advantage of. So I wanted to talk to you guys about bulk because I think it's really important moving forward that you continue sorting through your cards properly. I like to put all the trainer cards aside right away, just sort as you go, as you're opening up packs. It only takes an extra second or so to do it, but a lot of people kind of just put it all, you know, they look for that ultra rare, put it all together, put it in a box, and then kind of forget about it. And then all of a sudden you're looking to move your bulk and you've got to sort through all these cards, which is going to take you hours at a time versus just kind of doing it as you're going, leaving the trainer cards to a side because you never know what card is going to spike in value because of competitive play. Especially in the past, I've seen cards like Custom Catcher, which was a quarter, shoot up to $4 overnight because of rotation, because of competitive play. I've seen a card like Landorus EX, for example, as a $2 bulk EX at the time, shoot up to $12, $15 overnight because of rotation. So it's really important to pay attention to your cards so that way you can make sure that you are getting the most value out of them. Obviously, you want to appreciate the cards, appreciate the artwork, but at the same time, if you're looking to grow your collection goals, if you're looking to buy that, that crown that you really want to get, it's really important to kind of pay attention to that. So I'm going to stop rambling. If you have any questions, obviously leave them down. If you have any recommendations, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you like the content, leave a like. It goes a long way for the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. We just passed 90,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you more and more every day. So thank you so much for everything, guys. I will talk to you soon. Until next time, peace.